Today I'm going to show you how to change an ABS sensor in a 1996 Mazda 626. You can opt to get the entire harness from a junkyard, which includes both sides, but you don't need that. This is the only side that you need that has the sensor, and I've already gone ahead and cleaned the sensor. The 96 has red and white, blue and green on the other side. That is actually the correct sensor, and they just changed wiring colors between the 96 and the 97 year. So I'm going to go ahead and install that. Even though it has white and black, it should be okay. 96 and 97 are almost identical years when compared with the 93, 95 or the 98 to 2002. The 96, 97 was a very specific year that has very specific look. It has this silver trim piece on the front here. This only came on the 96 and 97. A real easy way to spot a 96, 97. So I'm sure that the sensor is going to work, so we're just going to go ahead and install that. First thing that you have to do is find your ABS sensor. It's a 2-wire sensor. You just unplug it. It should be a lime green connector. It's kind of stuffed back in there a little bit. You can find it by tracing where the ABS wire routes up, and it comes out right through there. It is a red-white wire on the 96, and that is chassis side, and that's the only thing that really matters. When you're looking at wiring diagrams, it will show you the car or chassis side wire. It's not going to show you the wire color of that unless you get a specific wiring diagram, and I'll post up the wiring diagram so you can see the color differences. On the 1996, red white on this side, and on the passenger side is a green blue. So if you come in here, you look at that connector, you see that it's the red white on the 96, 97. That's the right one. Pop it open. It's a lime green 2-wire sensor. That's going to be the right one. And you follow this wire, and it's basically right below this large harness right here, right below that sucker. Really hard to get to. Pops out right there. It's just a tiny little grommet. Grommet will come right out, and that leads all the way down to, in this case, the cut wire. And that goes to your ABS sensor. It's a different sensor housing on the rear. Every single sensor is individually designed for each wheel. You cannot get it wrong. If you get it wrong, you're going to know it when it comes time to install, because it's not going to work. It's not going to fit. I have to keep my head on the ground, otherwise my big fat head is going to be in your way. And I know you want to see this, right? Yeah, I want to see how to change an ABS sensor, because it'll be cool. I'll be all the cool kids with my ABS sensors and my ABS pumps. I'm going to get in here with my wire brush afterwards and clean those threads. They're really rusty. Spin off now. Ugh, that is a rusty bolt. Alright, now that we have this sucker out, pull out your grommet. So try not to break my light this time. There we go. Pop that sucker right out. Alright, so once you pop that grommet off, I'm going to have to go up top and feed that through. Yeah, it was just wrapped around the wire up there. Alright, so then we get our connector, and ta-da, there goes the old piece of crap wire. It's not connected to anything. Andy and I were pretty careful to keep this grommet and the connector and everything that this line needs, including the mounting bracket. And then I'll just kind of snap the grommet in place. Now we got the grommet in. So we'll just connect the bracket, and we'll just let this dangle because we still have to get the old ABS sensor off, but that's at least semi-installed for now. So now I have to go up and reconnect it. This will only plug in one way, so I'll just snap that into place. That's snapped in, and that's basically installed. I mean, that's it. You can just leave that dangle. Just come in here with the wrench and remove the old ABS sensor. It has the cut wire there. Doubt I'm going to be able to do this with one hand. Now, actually did break loose. I am very skilled. I am more skilled than you think because I do everything one-handed. Goes that. I'll save my bolts. And that is trash. Now we're just going to reinstall the sensor. And you don't have to torque these down very hard. Just get them snug, get them hand tight. You don't want them too tight, because that sensor, if you get it too tight, will actually contact the tone ring, and the tone ring will start marking it. Now they do have to be really close, which is, you know, that's normal. If you have all your hardware, all your stock hardware, this gets bolted up to a little nut that goes right there. Should be just like a little 10mm nut, and then this thing goes right around your strut mount bolt like so. I figured out why I cannot get that bracket installed, because there's a bolt that was stripped and sheared off inside of there on that side and the passenger side, and that's not part of the strut. This is the strut right here. This is part of the knuckle that goes in there. Why they call it a knuckle, I don't know. That's what Mazda calls it, so that's what I'm going to call it. That bolt is sheared off inside there. I cannot put that bracket on. Hang it up there loose for now until I can figure out something in the future for it. I don't like that. I don't have a choice right now. That's just the way it is. I'm also going to replace the nuts and clean up the threads on that mount there, and then that should be it, and that should be good to go. ABS sensor replaced. It's not a very hard process. It's not even very time consuming. It's all relatively easy. Pretty much anyone can do this one. ABS sensor replacement, definitely a beginner level. Very, very easy. The hardest thing you're going to encounter is taking off the wheel to get back there behind it. And if you're having ABS sensor codes and your ABS sensor is shot or otherwise has a fault, internal fault of some kind, take off the ABS sensor, inspect it. If it looks okay, it's probably okay, because it's just a magnet in there. Make sure you clean it off. If that sensor gets too gunked up, or if the tone rings get too gunked up, it will fail to read. It's really gunked up, you might just say, hey, it might just need to be cleaned. Free. Done. Clean it, repair it, slap it back in there, check your codes again. If the code goes away, you're good to go. If not, you might be looking at a sensor replacement or some other issue. But if you just need to replace a sensor, here's a video on how to replace an ABS sensor. It's just a straight up replacement. Some vehicles are going to be harder than others. Just keep in mind that you have to get the correct sensor. You cannot mix and match sensors. You have to get the sensor for the individual wheel that you are going to be replacing. They are all unique to the wheel. So this would be the left front ABS sensor, and it will only fit in the left front slot. The actual sensor itself, they're all the same. It's how it's mounted that makes a difference. That mount is going to be reversed on the passenger side. It's not going to fit on this side, and you can't modify it that I know of. Don't try and take apart an ABS sensor. If you need a new one, replace it. You can go to the junkyard and get one. This is a junkyard replacement. No problems. I'm not going to say they don't go bad, but they rarely go bad, so the chances that you're going to find a good one in a junkyard are pretty good. It's worth the risk. It's worth the whatever $7 it costs from a junkyard to replace this. It's worth a shot instead of paying top dollar for a brand new ABS sensor. There you go, ABS sensor replacement. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click like, subscribe. We're done. Cool.